Before we begin this super fun episode, we want to introduce you to an awesome new podcast from one of our past guests, the multiracial superstar, Sharon Mariguez. Peace, Planks, and Prana is dedicated to the yoga experience for students, teachers, and anyone curious about connecting body, breath, and mind. Hosts Melissa Payne Bradley and Sharon Naris Mariguez explore yoga's physical, energetic, and cultural aspects. Peace represents unity and community, Planks represents the physical practice, and Prana represents the life force connecting us all. Topics include navigating our relationship with our bodies, finding your voice as a teacher, and maintaining a gratitude practice, and so many more awesome topics. Find Peace, Planks, and Prana on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Go check it out today and subscribe.
Hello, my name is Latina, and I'm excited to be sharing a personal story with you today on the Multiracial Verse podcast. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to dive into something that might seem small, but has shaped a huge part of my identity, my name. Your name is one of the first things people learn about you, and for many, it's something you get attached to from birth. But for me, it's been a journey, sometimes a frustrating one, to truly own my name and how others interact with it. Let me take you back to the first memory I have of someone mispronouncing or shortening my name. I must have been about 15 or 16 years old when I first remember someone, let's call her Sarah, deciding to shorten my name without asking. My full name is Latina, but Sarah thought it would be easier to call me Tina. And honestly, as a teenager, I didn't want to cause any trouble by constantly correcting her. I didn't correct her. I didn't say, hey, that's not my name. Instead, I just kind of accepted it. At the time, I didn't see the mispronunciation as something malicious, but looking back, it planted a seed of discomfort. When people start shortening your name without asking, it feels like they're skipping over part of your identity. It's like, without realizing it, they're saying, this part of you is too complicated or too long. Let's make it simpler for me. And while I understand that people might not mean to offend, there's something about it that always felt a little dismissive. That small, seemingly harmless moment set the tone for how I related to my name. For years, I found myself in situations where I would just assume people would mispronounce it or shorten it. I dreaded having to correct people when they heard my name was Latina, only to have them mispronounce it as Latrina. And then there were the other frustrations, like when people heard my name and automatically made judgments about my ethnic background. As a proud Afro-Latina, hearing comments like, you don't look like a Latina, or people questioning my identity was always tough. It never feels good to be misunderstood or scrutinized for simply existing. And having to constantly explain the origin of my name didn't make things any easier. Fast forward to my adult years, and I started realizing that I wasn't alone in this. It wasn't just my name. Many of my family members experienced the same thing. There's something about names that holds power, but also something that's often overlooked. That's when I began to realize this wasn't just a personal issue. This was about ownership of something deeply personal. This was about standing up for my identity. So I started correcting people. At first, it felt awkward. It felt like a confrontation when really it shouldn't have been. But slowly, I learned to own it. When someone said the wrong version of my name, I'd say, actually, it's Latina, but thanks for trying. Or if they mispronounced it, I gently correct them with a smile. What I started noticing was a shift. Once I took ownership of my name, people responded differently. They were more respectful, more mindful. They didn't always get it right immediately, but the effort was there, and that meant a lot to me. Eventually, I started seeing my name as more than just a label. It became part of my story, part of my identity. It was a reflection of who I am and where I come from. The more I embraced it, the more confident I became in myself. Once I owned my name, no one could take that from me. And the funny thing is, as I got older, I began to understand that my name, whether it was mispronounced, shortened, or said perfectly, was mine. It didn't matter if people struggled with it at first. What mattered was that I was in charge of how I responded and how I felt about it. I also realized that my name tells a story. Whether I chose to share the origin of my name, express my pride for my strong ethnic culture, or simply celebrate what makes me unique, it was my choice to do so. I began to take pride in the uniqueness of my name and say it boldly with pride. So for anyone out there who's ever struggled with someone not getting your name right, or maybe you felt like your name didn't quite fit, you're not alone. It's a journey, and it's a powerful one. Don't be afraid to correct people. Don't be afraid to say, this is who I am. Because when you stand firm in your identity, when you own your name, it becomes one of your strongest assets. Thank you for listening today. I hope this story reminds you that no matter how your name is said, it's yours to own. Mi nombre es mío.
This episode of the Multiracial Verse podcast is brought to you by Eviton Couture, a brand born from a powerful vision and a deep connection to heritage. Founded by Shinnecock brothers Jason Tech King and Wayon Moon Smith, Eviton represents resilience and pride. From handmade tie-dye to wellness-focused athletic wear, each piece is crafted with intention and positivity, smudged with sage for good vibes, and delivered to you with love. Join the Eviton family on their journey of empowerment and inspiration. Hit up Moon on Instagram at Eviton_KS. That is native spelled backwards _KS to view product and place an order. Eviton Couture. Feel the spirit of resilience in every stitch. You can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Huge shout out to my friend Johannes Skoda for mixing and creating the intro music, and DJ Kazam for the track.